Hello, Internet, and welcome to the 3DA podcast. My name is Murph, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Chris, aka The Dude, and John, aka Fake Tony. I want to give you guys a heads up that this podcast is going to be random and sometimes vulgar and graphic. Seriously, our first topic is about how people wipe their buttholes. So if that doesn't sound like your cup of tea, you might want to just stop here. Also, the three of us are military veterans, so I'd like to apologize in advance if we use lingo or terminology you don't understand. We'll try to do a better job of explaining what we're talking about in the future. If you're still listening, we'd like to thank you for joining us for our very first episode of the 3DA podcast.
So I think opening the topic, we'd probably talk about the fact that people sit or stand. It's actually two different things to wipe their ass.
Yeah, so I saw this ahead of time, and I talked with my wife, and I was like, so apparently people sit down to wipe their ass? Like, what the fuck kind of weirdos are that? And she just looked at me, and she was like, what do you mean, you stand up to wipe your ass? And we almost got divorced in the fucking car on the ride home.
No way.
She's like, how are you going to spread your ass cheeks apart to get the fucking shit out?
Did she talk to you about the fact that when you stand up, you're pancaking your turd in between your cheeks, man?
Why would there still be a turd there? You're done shitting.
What if you got a dangler, man? That's bad news. I can't believe that.
So you're going to wipe it away. Yeah, of course I'm a stander.
Stander, dude. You're just smearing that turd all over the inside cheeks.
You got to bend over the toilet like you're getting railed.
Hey, but so, to be fair, once I learned that fact, I started standing up after I sat down.
But how are you supposed to get up in there if you're sitting down? Like, do you lean over, or how the fuck does that work? What do you mean?
Absolutely. It's fantastic. You got a better spread.
Because she's got a big ass, right? So she was like, well, if I stand up, then all the shit's just going to get, like, pancaked in there, like you said. And then it's going to, like, shoot out against the wall. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Solid logic, dude. Solid logic.
Like, this is not cool. But nah, man, stand up all the way for sure.
I'll be honest. I thought this was a joke topic. Like, I had no idea.
So did I. I was like, what kind of degenerate would sit down and wipe their ass?
I had no idea that people stood.
Yeah.
Like, this is ridiculous.
That's so crazy. It's mind-blowing for me that people sit. So
yeah. I got my bud standing once when I was in the Marines. I was like, what are you doing? Just stand up, man. Gotta do it.
I'm going to have to ask my family.
Yeah, you're gonna be surprised. It's half the world is crazy and stands up.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
It's gonna be a weird conversation, man.
I'm gonna try to wipe my ass sitting down next time I take a shit.
Give it a shot, dude. You might be
See
surprised.
how it goes.
You know,
it might be life changing for me.
So okay, John/Fake Tony. I feel like this segues into the second topic of toilet paper, top over or under. I spoke to Chris about this previously. What is your opinion?
Well, I don't know what you mean first off by over or under, right? Like, do you mean it's rolling towards you or away from you?
Yeah, when it unspools, it's pulling toward you over the top, whereas under, it's going over the top toward the back.
Oh, no, dude. If you do that, I'm punching you right in your fucking mouth. Like, all the way.
That's wrong, right?
Of course that. No way.
That's my divorce topic, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you were saying, dude, Murph, that maybe cat owners do that for some reason.
Yeah, that's what I read, is that cat owners do that so that if the cat paws at the toilet paper, and it's spooling forward, it won't unravel. Speaking of animals, didn't animal cruelty just get signed into federal law as a felony?
I know that by hearsay. Speaking of, man, look at that. That's an instant segue into that other topic there, the power of social media. Is it federally, is it a federal issue now?
How does that have to,
I'm not against that.
What does that have to do with social media exactly? I'm just wondering how your crackhead brain works.
The link for me is, every time I see anything about it, it's been on social media, not on any actual...
Because that's where you get your news, is like Facebook?
No, but that's where I see a lot of these wild topics, like, oh yeah, animal cruelty. I think it should be. That's fine. You shouldn't be cruel to little animals unless they're burgers or something. But
so it's okay if they're big animals?
Yeah, only if they're big.
Well, okay, cool. Yeah.
Just
want to know.
The power of social media, it's really a phenomenon that we're living through, in that we have the ability to post these things online and can be seen by tens or hundreds of thousands or millions of people. and we have no responsibility. We should, but we have no responsibility to make sure that our information is correct, right? So when you post something that says, "Hey, fake Tony's a pedophile," like that could ruin your life, you know? Like, and I just put it out there, right?
I mean, I could totally sue you for slander, right, for that kind of thing.
If probably, I don't know the law exactly. Probably if I called you out by name and said a very specific thing like that, yes. However, when we just post things about flat Earth and shit like that, like you are influencing people that don't know any better.
Dude,
right?
how about let's take it a step further there, and this whole policy that Facebook has now, and they're not going to take down false political ads. So, like, literally, you could post something about your opponent that they like to fuck little children with bowling pins, just for example, and they wouldn't even remove that post. Like, it's their platform, so it's being used on their platform to, you know, disseminate false information, clearly. But they're just like, no, you can decide for yourself.
I went a different way with that. I thought you were going to cover flat earthers, but that's fine.
Fuck flat earthers right in the fucking
talk about bowling pins and assholes if you want to.
I just don't really want to acknowledge them, kind of thing. Like, don't speak their name. It gives them power, because fuck.
But what a topic, man. No. What a topic. Hey, you know you've sailed the 7 seas. Oh, that's a fight. Me and my wife will fight about the 7 seas, man. She does not like that.
I haven't sailed all 7 of them, I gotta say. I've sailed the Atlantic.
Oh, close enough.
What does she not like about it?
The Barents Sea.
She does not like the phrase 7 seas because there's more than 7 seas.
There are more than 7, in fact.
There absolutely is, but when that reference was made up, there were 7 seas.
Well, I think they're just talking about, like, the major ones, right? Is that what we're trying to get at? Because, you know, like, I've been in the sea north of Russia, the Barents Sea, but nobody had ever heard of that fucking shit.
Yeah. I get in the sea every once in a while when Mrs. lets me.
Okay.
Whoa!
I think that's different.
Wrong sea. Sorry.
I'm not an expert, but I think that's different.
Talking about some gushing shit or something. Okay.
Oh, no.
The letter C. Got it.
The letter C, yeah.
Wow. Brought to you by the letter C.
Today. Hey, 3 Dumbasses brought to you by the letter C.
Hey, okay, so fuck this topic for real. Can we maybe move into the next one? Because I don't really like the social media thing. For real, it's kind of boring.
I feel like we had segued pretty hard out of social media into the...
And we did go down
Chris's wife's C.
Well, actually... Yeah, I mean, maybe we can talk about AI.
Maybe. How AI is going to be the up-and-coming thing and how awesome it is that the AI overlords are on their way. I subscribe to that opinion. I think it'll be great. We don't have to think anymore. The creativity of mankind unleashed because you're no longer stuck with menial labor and counting numbers and counting this. I submitted that DNA sample, right? So they have it in their little database. Just pick me up later, right? When they start cloning people for the zoo, you know they're picking me.
Can we clarify what kind of DNA sample you provided?
A spitting kind. Yeah. So, that was actually, it was a thought, you know, it was a thought experiment that I had run with, you know, even my wife, and how do I consciously prove that you're an existing human being sitting next to me and talking to me? It's kind of an interesting thought because there's nothing you can say or do that would prove that you're real. You can say, oh yeah, I cut you open, you bleed, and all that. Well,
what about the Turing test, right?
You can run up through the Turing test. You think so? I think.
Well, doesn't that just prove that an AI is advanced enough to appear or be indistinguishable from a human? It doesn't actually mean it exists, right?
I don't know. I just know that fancy term. I don't even know what the fuck it meant. Just saying.
I think he's spot on. I think Murph's right there. I think what he's talking about is correct. That it's. I don't know for sure. We should check that out. Put on the to look up list. But even then, I mean, how do you prove that data is valid?
I don't know. I'm pouring more scotch.
So, Chris, I mean, it sounds like what you're talking about is solipsism, right? I think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Solipsism?
Yeah, that you don't know that anything else is real except yourself.
Exactly.
Well, how about this? How the fuck do you know you're real?
The concept is that, you know, I think, therefore I am, right? So I'm real because I experience things. Now, whether or not my body actually exists and this world is real is irrelevant. It's just like your consciousness that exists.
Yeah, but so like when you're playing The Sims, right, and they react to shit, they kind of think that they're real.
Right, and it's an
Wouldn't you
interesting
say?
topic. I've actually discussed this at work. Like, to The Sims, maybe their world is their real world, right? Like, they're experiencing, they're just walking around, they think they're real.
Yeah, I mean, just one day you're taking a shit and all of a sudden you're walled in until you die.
Yeah.
That would suck.
It's fucking Chris, man.
I mean, that's kind of the way that it is now because the Earth is flat.
Oh, yeah. I think it's I mean, it is super interesting, though, as a topic because, I mean, you just can't... And that makes it easier to be inhumane in my book. When deep
That's
down
a good point,
we know
actually.
we can't, yeah, I mean, you don't trust that this is a real person and your judgment is based on your observations versus reaching out and understanding their observation.
So, like, you don't have to be good because they're not fucking real, right? Like, you could stab that dude in the eye that cut you off in traffic because he's not even real.
Yep. The only thing that stops me is the fact that in this reality, if I did that, I'm probably going to sit in a cage for the rest of
This reality.
this reality. Yeah.
My coworker had a point. I understand it, although I like thinking about these things. But his point, which is totally valid, is even if we live in the Matrix or we live in this universe where I'm the only truly existing being, does it matter? Does it matter if I'm not real in your universe or you're not real in mine? Like, there's nothing we can do about it. We're just going to live it out the way it is. We can't change it.
Kind of a who cares anyway.
That's
Sorta,
kind of like
yeah.
a really
Like a-
subjective and existential question that we probably don't have time to get into.
Yeah.
The does it
It's like
matter?
Taoism. I think Taoism is a religion that's kind of like that. That like you shouldn't sweat those things because none of it is really worth sweating.
Well, that kind of is a good segue into the next topic that you have on the list about nihilism.
Speaking of nihilism.
So, first of all, I saw that word and I was like, the fuck does that mean? Why don't you go ahead and explain that? What does that mean to you? Why did you
to
put it on
me-
the topic list?
For me, nihilism is just, I don't necessarily subscribe to it, but it's an interesting thought that why concern yourself, and it's along the same lines, why concern yourself with anything else because none of it really matters in the end, and it's just blackness. It's just an end.
Okay,
why
so
bother?
from dictionary.com, we've got the rejection of all religious and moral principles in the belief that life is meaningless.
Yep.
So you don't believe in any morality because who the fuck cares, basically?
Well, I just said I don't subscribe to it, but it is an interesting topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you subscribe to it, Chris?
I do not subscribe to it. But I do like the topic, and I think it's worth discussing and kind of engaging a little bit and learning about it. Yeah.
I was talking with my son about this a little bit in the car before I got home, and about like religious people specifically wanting to be good because there's always some like flying spaghetti monster watching them, right? Like you have to be good or you're going to be afraid of fucking burning in eternity. Like what kind of bullshit is that? Why can't you just be a good person for being good? You know?
Yeah, and I'll jump into some theology that'll probably get us all in trouble. But I think of it like this.
Yes.
Look, even the Christian God, I believe this, because it's like a game of telephone, right? We've been playing telephone for 2,000 years with writings. And if you think that hasn't been manipulated over the 2,000 years that it's been passed from generation to generation, at some point in time, you're incorrect. That's all there is to it. You can't trust man that far. However, I think of my own child, and I think about what I would do to her no matter what she did. There's no way I'm going to send her to an eternity of burning damnation. And I think of a Christian God, if that's the way you want to go, He loves you on a cellular level. She loves you on a cellular level. Thinks about you as, let's be correct. Thinks about you, yeah. Loves you on some sort of atomic cellular level, which is going to be 30, 40, a million, unfathomably more than you could even love your own kid. So if I can't do that to my kid, who I just made in an apartment one day for the fun of it, I can't imagine if I'd put her together piece by piece how much.
Well, first
I
of
would
all,
want her
let's
to do
clarify. Well. Were you actually trying to make your kid when you made your kid?
I wasn't trying to stop it, that's for sure.
I mean, was it on your mind? Because, like, for example, I made my last two kids on purpose, right?
There was a moment where I went, probably should do something better than what I'm doing.
Okay.
And then that was about a fleeting.
Like have purpose, like continue your lineage kind of thought? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it was I'm in the middle of this and I'm like, well,
Do I feel like pulling out or not?
Yeah.
So it was a laziness thought, right?
It was a yeah.
Okay.
Made the best thing of my life though as a kid.
I'm curious to hear what Murph has on this. Like, do you have kids, Murph?
Yeah.
I do not.
Okay, so how do you feel about...
That he knows of. Let's
Yeah,
be
right.
clear.
Hey, that's a fucking good point right there. But Murph's never been to the sandbox, so...
That's
we'll
topic
get to that
number
later.
12 or so. We're on
Yeah.
6 right now.
We'll
I'm just
pull it
saying.
in because I wanted to get this out here. I want to laugh my ass off.
I've got like
tonight.
6 or 7, I'm sure.
I'm going to do it now because I think this is hilarious.
Okay.
So I'm throwing you under the bus, Murph.
Okay.
You know it was coming eventually because I think he needs to hear. Yeah, he's never been to the sandbox. You're right.
You're
right.
mean...
He hasn't.
How do you feel
I like
about
this topic.
Because I brought this up with my wife, and she thinks that people that have never been to the sandbox that are in the military shouldn't be able to get Veterans Day discounts and shit like that. For
To be
example.
fair, I try not to use Veteran Day discount. Actually, I was in the store the other day because I don't like buying clothes ever until they start falling apart, and then I look like a homeless person. So I went to the store with my ex-girlfriend because we're still cool, and found some pants that fit. Right as I'm coming out, I get in line to pay. As I'm coming out of the dressing room, I should say, put my pants back on. Right, and that's what you do. She was already in line with something, so I joined her in line. I was going to buy some pants, and I get up there. I put my shit on the counter. The lady starts scanning it, and my ex is like, "Do you do military discounts?" Which is something that I just never think to ask. Like, doesn't even cross my mind. I don't care. And the only time I get discounts is when someone else is with me, in this case her, to ask for it.
Oh, my wife's all over it, man. I just don't even think about it. I don't want it.
I don't either.
I want my bud back, and I want. That's just the way I just want. I don't need recognition. That's a thing. And you know what? People are gonna listen to this, and that's something I think that needs to be said. It's hard to say anything to thank you. Anybody else get that? I can't respond in any real way.
Right.
Yeah, I hate that
to a thank you. It's
kind of bullshit.
It's super hard, and I appreciate their effort to reach out and say I appreciate what you did, but like it's hard to say. It's not like you can be like, hey, you're welcome,
Yeah,
and be
it's
sincere.
almost funny, like how many times I've heard that, right? Like, thank you for your service. Out of all the times, dozens or hundreds, I don't know how to respond to it.
Yep.
But do people even mean it when they say that now? You know what I mean? Because it's just so generic when they say.
I don't think they
"Thank you for your
necessarily
service."
mean it, but they mean the intent behind it, right? They mean that they wish you good things because of what you've done, for what they perceive that what you've done for them.
That's
Yeah, and I
actually
mean
an
the
excellent
fact that
thought
they
about
went
that.
out of their way to say something, like they didn't have to, they didn't have to say it, right? Like they thought of it, they actually went through the motions at least.
Yep. So, am I allowed to disclose that one thing that I was going to disclose at one point?
Yeah, this is your story, man. I don't know where this is going.
It's actually your story about the desert, and I want to go over his first nickname for you and laugh my ass off at him when he goes, "Oh."
What was my first nickname? I forget.
Bullet Sponge.
Oh yes,
Because
yes.
that's what we called all the dudes in the army.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Hey, Tony. Steve is in fact a bullet sponge. He took one. Where was it? To the leg.
Yeah, to my ankle, man.
Yeah. He
How,
just
though?
doesn't dodge very well.
If we're not in combat, where'd that happen at?
Yeah, he was.
That.
Absolutely was. He's a grunt, man. He's a grunt. So one of the greatest, huh?
11, well, not one of the greatest because I didn't dodge, but
You said 11 Bravo?
oh yeah,
Isn't that comm specialist?
That's infantry.
What am I thinking? Oh, 91 Bravo, right? I was a linguist.
Oh man.
That's a funny thing about MOSs though in the military is people are like, oh, what do you do in the military? And they're like, oh, I was an 87 whiskey, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is, man. Like, do you drive
What was your
trucks?
job?
I don't fucking know.
Right.
They didn't want to say. It sounds better to say that than supply admin,
Yeah, right.
Oh, or
What it
mean
is.
like legal admin?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's an under the busser. That's pretty good though.
It is a good.
Not that we have egos about important military jobs. They're all very important. We thank all
Well,
of
I mean,
you for
mine was
whatever
kind
you
of more
did.
important, I gotta say. But
Well, that seems pretty. Yeah. If we didn't give each other shit, what would we give each other?
I'm just gonna edit all of his
Herpes?
audio out.
Oh, okay.
Who's that?
Tony, fake Tony.
Probably.
just cut him.
It's fine.
Just cut everything.
Haters gonna hate, dude. What's up?
We just need him to prod us every once in a while. So when you said that, I was laughing so hard to their tone. I was like, oh my god, you have no idea.
Holy shit.
The worst nickname to drop right away.
I was actually a Russian linguist, so that's kind of funny.
Which means in a couple more scotches, he'll talk dirty to us.
But I was attached to MARSOC for a while, which was pretty fun because those were some crazy motherfuckers, I gotta tell you.
He's one of them good squids, hung with the Marines.
It was fun, actually. I enjoyed my time with the Marines much more than I did when I was on a submarine.
Oh, yeah. They're a special kind of dumb, and I love it. I'm very proud of it. Like, people are like, oh, you eat crayons? Yeah, I do. Can you get me a pack? I'm pretty hungry.
Well, talking about eating crayons, let's go into the next one. Describe a random flavor using anything but the flavor's name.
This is good. I brought this up to a couple people, and they were like, that's actually really good.
Vanilla to someone that can't taste?
Yeah, I mean, sweet, and you can't say vanilla. It doesn't taste like vanilla, you know? Tastes like
well, you can't really say sweet vanilla, either, right?
Yeah, it describes it. Yeah, it's a flavor, so...
I think maybe you should change the question more to someone that's never tasted vanilla, not somebody that can't taste.
Yeah, I think you kind of rule everything out when you say you can't taste because like what do you say? It tastes like Christmas. Like I don't. What do you say that
yellow.
Isn't a taste?
Yeah, well, I mean, taste does provide a feeling sometimes, right? Doesn't it? You drink a good liquor, you get some goosebumps. You know, like oh, it's good.
It's making my stomach warm right now, I'll tell you that.
See, it's a warm taste. It tastes.
So vanilla's a warm taste?
Vanilla would be like homey, I would think.
That is a like shitty fucking description.
Tastes like home.
What would you do? How would you describe vanilla then?
I don't even know, man. That's what I'm saying. This is a shit topic, and I just want to...
Well, I mean,
it's a great topic.
It's the same.
You can't do it.
It's the same as trying to describe a color to a blind person.
Right.
Like they have no point of reference, right? Like
fucking Helen Keller. Red is fucking hot. No, dude. Like that.
Come over here and touch me.
Subjective.
Tell me. Look, it's like red could be mad. You know, like red.
Red's mad now.
Yeah, red could be mad, right? They can describe the color red as mad.
Why?
How you feel when you're mad is red.
Wow. What is red? Stop.
Because your face turns red when you're mad.
Yeah. It's mad. It's stop. It's it's a bad color, I guess.
I think it's contextual, right? Like because red is also passionate. It's love, right?
Okay. Strong emotion. How about
that? In China it means love, actually, right? So they wear red dresses to their weddings, for example, instead of white dresses. So
white represents purity, which we know every American woman that gets married today. Not every. Sorry.
Oh, for sure.
Sorry, ladies. Yeah. There's a couple of you out there, but guys wear black, so we're dead and we know it.
That's a good point. That is kind of weird.
Yeah, we do. We're black. It's over. The party's over, friends. No more disgusting chauvinism. Time to make children.
That. Right before we recorded this podcast, my wife walked into my office and said, "Did a fucking animal just die in here, or did you fart?"
Oh, that's so funny.
What color would you describe your fart?
Yeah. Brown.
Ask her that.
Definitely green.
If you had to describe my fart as a color, what color would it be?
Chartreuse. Whatever the fuck
brown, like green-brown, whatever that makes.
I gotta look up chartreuse right now.
That's good.
Yellowish green. Yep, that's about right.
We'll jump over to the mask. So we kind of did actually touch on this masculinity and relationships thing. That's interesting because
you jumped over two of them. Okay, fine, it's fine.
So
I'll come back.
This was my topic. I'll kick us off here. One of my coworkers, I feel like, is kind of like low-key toxic masculine. And what I mean by that is that he has these real stereotypical ideas of what a relationship should be. And I think some of it is maybe sort of understandable. For instance, like we brought up the question, how would you react if your girlfriend or wife had proposed to you instead of vice versa?
Oh, that's a hard one right there.
That one I think is awkward, but he's like very adamant that like there are female roles and there are male roles, right? And they are separate.
Whoa. Yeah, but can you expand on that a little bit? Like, what the fuck do you mean by that? Like, he should be taking out the trash and she's making dinner?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Kinda shit.
there are chores at home that are masculine, and there are chores at home that are feminine, and you
Huh.
don't share them.
That's weird, man. Some of the most masculine men I know, Garden. I mean, seriously, guys that would choke me with one hand and put me to death.
Well, like I made
Garden.
breakfast this morning, right? But
Yeah.
my wife made dinner. So what the fuck's that say?
Yeah, I love cooking, dude. I love good food.
Well, that's
Apparently, you're
bitch.
both girls.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
we're bitches. That's what it is. It's fine.
We share pictures of our food.
At least I didn't get wounded in combat, you pussy.
That's a very good point.
Jesus, escape strategy alpha.
Well, actually, look, I did get wounded in combat. I fell down a hill and I dislocated my shoulder.
Yeah. I got a Dear John letter.
Oh, did you?
No, just kidding. Man.
Was that-
Sent me,
Oh, I
My
thought you were
ex-wife
going to
sent me
say
all
that
kinds
you
of
were
pictures.
jerking off in a porta potty and you passed out and hit your head.
that has almost happened. I mean, it's a race to pass
Man.
out at that point. 120 degrees.
Those things are
120
fucking hot.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, shit.
You gotta get around the smell and all the action. Like, you gotta look around you. And
You walk
not
past
only are
the
you
restroom
post,
and you
you
get a
know,
hard on
post,
now?
oh, you're walking out and all of a sudden it feels like there's an AC. Finally.
Oh yeah,
The fresh air hits you, dude.
that
You're just like,
90-degree
oh,
AC that just
Oh,
yeah.
thank God.
thank God it's 90 degrees out. Oh, yeah.
That
Sweat
is like-
dripping off your face.
That is a special experience that you have, like when you're deployed in 120-degree shitter, and you rub one out or whatever. Man, that is an experience that not a lot of people have.
No.
I've jerked off in my rack on a submarine, though, that I shared with another person, right? Like, not at the same time.
Here we
Something
go.
called hot racking.
And it's a coffin rack, wasn't it? It was a nasty coffin rack.
Well, it was small as shit, right? Like, you could barely slide up in there. And I'm
Yep.
fucking claustrophobic as a motherfucker. I don't got no goddamn right to be on a submarine in the first place. But, yeah. So, like, whacking off, and then some other dude sleeps in the bed a couple hours later. Isn't that fucked up?
So
You know
do
what's
you
more
literally
fucked up?
share
I
the
got
same
you.
bed, or do you just have bunks? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, they're like bunk beds, right? And they lift up, and you put all your shit underneath, like all your clothes.
Yeah. It's a coffin rack. It's good stuff.
I mean, so like we didn't share the same pillow, but we shared the same sheets.
My first tour to Iraq, we came over by boat. So we were on our way on an Uber, and I had
Yeah,
a
but y'all
coffin
were
rack.
probably on a fucking aircraft carrier or something big.
I was on an LSD. It was a 44. The
Yeah,
little
right.
guy, the Gunston. It was
Y'all
the
weren't on a
Gunston.
submarine though. Get the fuck out of here.
No, but here, I'm alluding to your story, how great it is. I was working, I had mess duty, for the trip over, and I was working
Yeah.
a third shift, prepping for the next day, and so, you know how it is, you don't get all these showers all the time, or if you get them, it's like, it's barely a shower,
Yeah, I went through
but I'm
3
done,
minutes.
I'm like, you know what, cool, it's like 10 in the morning, nobody's here, everybody's off doing their day duties, it's me alone in this room, and my buddy, he comes in, and he's like, hey, is that so-and-so? I can't say my name, but hey, I smell so-and-so, because I was on mess duty, dude. I smell like burger and shit, right? He comes over, he's like, I smell so-and-so. I'm mid-stroke, dude, and he rips the coffin rack wide open, and he is face to dick, dude. And I'm like, just looking at him, and he goes, oh, shit, and just shuts it and walks out.
Right.
I finish, and I put it with my other stash of, like, Gollum tissues, dude.
Oh,
It's bad, dude. Like, right on the side, yeah. Some poor squid had to clean that shit out because I came back, I got the same rack, and I was like, I better clean that mess up before we
they're
get back
growing
home.
mushrooms and shit.
They
by
were
then.
gone. No, they were gone. Somebody cleaned them up. Somebody grabbed my tissue stash.
Well, you say poor squid, but what do you think if maybe he added them to a collection?
What a fucking nasty thing you are. God, you're just gross, man.
Oh,
Best
that's
time to get
nasty.
busted. It was amazing. It was amazing. Hey, it smells like so-and-so in here. What are you doing? Opens
Well,
the
that's
curtain.
what he fucking gets for pulling the curtain.
Yeah,
back,
what are you
dude.
doing, bud? You should know better. I was sleeping anyway. It was daytime.
Yeah, right. Fuck off.
My night shift was over. You're gonna have some of that. But yeah, the porta shitter is it's a special kind of experience with yourself. You learn the depths of depravity that you're willing to go to. It was a hot mess. It was only better than that was the. Did you have cat boxes when you went over there, Murph?
I don't know what that
You know
is.
boxes.
the cat trenches, the trench
What?
to drop a deuce in. Did you drop a deuce in the trench?
No, we had homemade shitters, then we pulled out the buckets and burned it.
Yeah, that's what we ended up doing there. But the
You know how
initial
many
one,
fucks are about burning every fucking thing?
dude, we did the same thing. And then you put diesel in it and stir it up.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
it's
big time.
beautiful.
Which is honestly, like, surprisingly not as bad as it sounds. Shit burning, man.
Yeah, it's a good chill job.
Let's talk about why you have a Pornhub account.
You got okay. First off, don't make it sound ridiculous, because this is the most sensible thing that anyone can do.
No, it's fucking ridiculous. I want to hear why.
Okay, you got your Pornhub account, right? It's obviously not in my name or anything descriptive of me. Okay.
Are you sure though?
But you're looking at porn, and I know that the dude will back me up on this, right? Sometimes you have that video that you watch that you just loved, or whatever. You watched it, it was really good. You want to come back to it. You can't remember what it is. You can't find it for an hour ever, right? So you log into your Pornhub account, you surf porn, you find the porn you like, and then you can save it as a favorite. So that if you're ever like, man, what was that video? Oh, I'll look at my favorites. Boom,
you can
there
still
it is.
save it as a favorite, just like in your browser.
Why would I want a whole bunch of porn sites saved in my browser? How is that better than having a Pornhub account?
Hang on.
I don't know, man.
Hey, no, kid, use my phone. Look that thing up for me. Dad, what's this? Just go away from that.
I don't like watching the same one over and over and over again, though. That's kind of weird.
It's not over and over and over, right? It's just like, oh, man.
You said you added it to your fucking favorite, dude. I gotta assume that you're watching it like 3 or 4 times.
No, you gotta think of it like boxes. I'm with Murph here. You gotta have boxes, right?
What?
Yeah, I got a box of I can go to this and be done in 5 seconds. I got a box of these things that I know will help me about 5 minutes. I got a box of these things that are fun to drag out, and they're kind of interesting. A box of these that I don't ever want anybody to see. And then you got a box of these other things as far as like categories of what you're gonna watch in a porn.
Hold on a second. What's in your box of things that you don't want people to see?
Well, there's some that's a reason why there's a box of things.
Yeah, I would assume he's not going to discuss this.
I really want you to expand on this. That's all.
No, I think you've got your own little box of things you don't want people to see.
Of course I do. Everybody fucking does.
Exactly, but I'm not going to tell you mine. You're not going to tell me yours. I mean, that's.
I'm just wondering if we're compatible.
That's a fifth of Crown or more discussion.
You're right. Well, I don't know how I feel about this next topic anyway. Digital music, not owning music. What the fuck?
I feel like there's a big issue there.
When's the last time you bought an actual fucking CD anyway?
Well, it's not about buying CDs. It's just about buying music in general.
Buying. Okay, when's the last time you actually bought some music?
It's in the past couple of months. And this is exactly why, though.
Really? What do you mean? You buy some shit on iTunes or what?
Yeah, like iTunes or Google Play Music or whatever. But the thing is, like, when you're using a streaming service or Spotify or whatever, like I tend to use Google Play Music. I know a lot of people are going to give me shit for not using Spotify or whatever the fuck. But you can listen to that now, but at some point, if the rights change or anything else, that music's no longer available, right? So if you don't have it downloaded, it's just gone.
Yeah, but there's like so many other options that it doesn't even matter at this point, in my opinion. Right?
I mean, if you want to listen to a Metallica album, and all of a sudden there's no more Metallica on Spotify because they took their rights back, then you just...
But then you've got Pandora and fucking YouTube and then torrents and...
I was going to say, let's just cut to the chase here and get LimeWire and call it good.
Fucking LimeWire? What is this, 1996, you old fuck?
That's good, man. It's a throwback. Don't worry about it.
Jesus Christ, BearShare and fucking Kazaa over here.
Kazaa.
I won't even say Napster because everybody knows that shit, but shit, nobody knows Kazaa.
That's when things went sideways, that Napster deal with Metallica. I remember that.
So do I.
James Hetfield was kind of a bitch. That's what's up.
I was living, well, then I've seen them in concert, man, and they are.
I mean,
they
yeah,
put
they're
a lot
fucking
into
awesome,
their art.
but like,
they put a lot into their art, to have it. I get it. They don't want to rip off.
Nobody wants to be ripped off, but.
Well, I think at the same time, they most people in the world. I'm assuming. I'm just going to blanket statement this. They're older, right? They're an older band, so they're not as receptive to changing technology as a younger band's going to be.
Okay.
Whereas like Spotify or whatever or anything streaming is going to be some kid's way to get exposure. They view it as the opposite. Like, I sell CDs, I sell records. I don't want people streaming my music or downloading it on LimeWire or whatever.
I mean, nobody wants it to be downloaded on LimeWire, I would imagine, because they're not making any revenue off that shit.
I'm chasing down the list, actually. That Cyberpunk 2077 looks legit, not to advertise for them.
Well, actually, yeah, I wanted to ask you about this, because you specifically put MMO on there, right? And I was talking with my son about it, and he was like, what the fuck do you mean by this topic? And I was like, like Chrono Trigger, right? Or like Final Fantasy. And he was like, but those aren't MMOs.
So yeah, like just an MMO, like a cyberpunky like hacker universe.
Well, what can you think of that's an MMO that's cyberpunk?
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. Whereas a good one that's been put out yet, there hasn't been one. I mean, maybe the Matrix came out for a little bit, right? There was a Matrix MMO. That
what
flopped. Yeah, it flopped hard, dude.
I hadn't even heard of that shit before. That's crazy.
But like something that was like be like the Deus Ex series, but in an MMO, that'd be a lot of fun, I think. Because those universes are a lot of fun to play.
Yeah,
in.
Deus Ex was pretty badass.
Dude, I love it.
I mean, what about like Bioshock?
Yeah. In an MMO representation, something like that, yeah. It doesn't have to be like RPG to be MMO either, you know. It can be FPS and MMO. I don't know how they squoze Destiny into that category because it's still just
Destiny's not
multiplayer.
Well, it's not like Cyberpunk either.
Yeah,
it's not
that's where it
Cyberpunk in
ends.
any fucking way.
No. Like that, it would be sweet though. Like Cyberpunk meets MMO, where you've got a society to jump into and be a part of and engage in, and you know, we're just waiting for that next big thing.
Do you want to talk about the fucking basic familiarity with computers while we're here? Like fucking Sally in accounting that's like, oh, I just don't know how. It's 2019. Learn how to fucking print.
Yeah, that's on there. That's a great topic too.
Oh my god.
The very basics. Come on, people.
I mean, Murph,
Yeah,
expand on what you do for a living, because I know what Chris and I do, right? Like, well, I think I know what Chris does, but I'm a network engineer. I really don't have to deal with users. I deal with like the local IT people, and that's it.
Yeah, thankfully, my job, I coordinate a service desk. So my job is like
So you're like the
one
knock
step,
manager?
sort of.
Okay.
I'm not quite. I wouldn't go as far as call myself a manager, but I kind of coordinate a small team of guys as we all support the. Yeah, basically, yeah, exactly. So I do interact with users, not as much as they do. Thankfully, I've moved a little bit beyond that. But my God, is it a nightmare? Like, it is horrible at all times.
Yeah, guys, if you're listening to this, which would be like 3 people, you gotta hit the basics. I mean, we're on 2020.
Listen up here, Chris's wife.
Oh yeah, get the SSD. Tell her. Everybody, tell her get the SSD.
Get the SSD. Just do it.
She doesn't listen, dude. She doesn't want the SSD.
You know, the thing that kills me about helping people with computer issues is that, one, if we tell you to restart the program or restart your system, we're not fucking around, right? Like, I know that you seem to be under the impression that I want to be on the phone with you as long as possible, dicking around, investigating why Word crashed or whatever. Just fucking do it. It solves the problem. We'll be off the phone in 2 minutes. Instead, you have to argue, right? Like, I don't understand what that is. Why do updates affect... Look, I'm not going to spend 2.5 hours investigating why this update didn't install properly. We're going to restart. We're going to get it to kick off again, and it's going to be fine. That's all there is to it.
Look, anything, any aspect, if you approach it from the fact and really understand your knowledge level when you approach it, look, don't be scared to tell your IT guys what you did wrong, or if you did something. We're not going to get you in trouble. I'm going to thank you if you're like, hey, you know what? I deleted my system 32. I'll be like, oh, well, we're done. We got to rebuild it. No big deal. But I know what to do. I don't have to do any more investigating. I don't really care. I'm getting paid to do it either way. Yeah, but users just don't. Users hide like kids that stole some candy or something.
How do you feel about people thinking that it's like popular or fucking cool to not be knowledgeable about computer shit?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
You know, they use it as like a catchphrase. They're like, computers, fucking shrug.
I'm not that good at that stuff, that computer stuff.
That's like almost saying, like, in this day and age, oh, I don't know how to fucking read.
Yeah, I don't know how to wipe my ass, so.
I don't know how to wipe my ass sitting down.
What kills, yeah, you weirdo.
What kills me is that my company, like, the people that I work with are highly educated, right? They go to school for years to do what they do, okay? So you can't tell me, like, oh, I'm not a computer person. Oh, I just don't get it. If you were able to go to school for, 6, 8 years or whatever, you can do this. It's not hard.
That's a good point. Right, people with advanced degrees that act like they don't know shit about fucking computers. It's fucking...
Hey, so here's something fun. Speaking of IT stuff, like if you don't think there's a database of you out there, like your entire, like you built in an AI environment, you're out of your mind. Either that or they're listening to us, man. Because I was just talking to my Mrs. the dude about registering a child, out in New York for any. Is there any kind of awesome, dancing class for her? Which she said there's Joffrey's ballet school. No sooner than she mentioned that than 2 days later, I've got an advertisement on my social media for said school.
It's because you had that fucking Amazon Echo shit up in your house.
I'm gonna fap next to it next time.
Well, that's awesome. Do it.
That's a great word. But that is interesting, that happens more often than not anymore. And it's not because I'm searching for these things. They just show up on my
Yeah, they're targeted ads.
Yeah, targeted ads, but I'm not searching for them. That's what's even better. So their algorithms are getting that bad. They're that good that, they have an idea where you're going no matter what you're doing.
So I have a counterpoint to this about the algorithms being that good, is that when you look up something online, like let's say you need a new couch, right? So you look online, you're researching couches, you go to Amazon, you buy a fucking couch. I don't know why you bought a couch on Amazon. It doesn't matter. You bought a fucking couch on Amazon. All of a sudden you start seeing ads for couches, but you just bought a couch. Why would I need another fucking couch, right? Like, if you're going to have a smart algorithm target ads to me, which, you know what, I'm actually okay with. Like, if you want to make my life better and easier than saying, I think you would like Coca-Cola Extra. Okay, that's neat. But I don't need 2 more couches. I just got a fucking couch.
Well, what the fuck is Coca-Cola Extra?
I just made it up. But Coca-Cola, if you would like to use that, I would appreciate it if you would sponsor this podcast.
We would all appreciate your sponsorship.
Yo, Coca-Cola Extra. How about Coca-Cola came from back in the day, not with the cocaine, obviously, but with some straight sugar, man.
Wait a minute. I'll take cocaine in my Coca-Cola if they want.
I've never stopped drinking it. But, just give me some straight sugar. What happened to that? Why are you cheaping on me? Like, I'll pay an extra $quarter for real sugar.
They have real sugar Coca-Cola. What the fuck are you talking about?
Show me.
It's just regular Coca-Cola.
You're out of your mind. They use high fructose corn syrup.
I believe they do sell it in a lot of...
I don't drink that shit anymore anyway.
What are they called? Like, what do you call the just like an international market or Asian grocery or whatever. But anyway, I think it is like the Mexican stores.
The Mexican store.
Yeah, this is getting cut out hard.
Look, man, this part shouldn't. Nearly 30 years ago, Coca-Cola switched over from sugar to high fructose corn syrup. You're not that fucking old. To sweeten America's beloved carbonated soft drink. Every soft drink is flavored with that high fructose corn syrup. Shit'll kill you. It's crazy. Can't process it as fast as regular sugar. That's why Americans in the 50s were much better shaped. I'm guilty too. Than they are today.
Just drink diet soda and get that crazy chemical shit.
Nah, just drink frickin' water.
Okay, it says here that kosher Coke contains real sugar, although it looks like this is an article regarding Passover, so maybe it's only a certain time of the year.
Oh, where's that at?
I have no idea. I guess we'll have to wait for Passover. It's probably about time for us to wrap this up. From the 3 of us here at the 3DA Podcast, we'd like to thank you for hanging out with us. If there's anything you'd like to hear us discuss or have questions or comments, follow us on Twitter at the 3DA Pod or send us an email at 3dapodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay alert, and don't do dumb things.